Welcome to Hamim Royale. This is Eric Grissom.
And I'm Dan Johnson. Eric and I will be rewatching the iconic Twin Peaks from the pilot through the return and everything in between.
If this is your first time watching, or if you're a longtime fan, you can watch along with us as we dive deep into the strange and wonderful world of Twin Peaks.
We live inside a dream.
Today on Meanwhile, we are diving into Orchid's Curse. Dan, this is episode 12. This is the 5th episode of season 2. This is Orchid's Curse. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it.
This whole time, everyone's always talking about Orchid's Curse.
Is this the one that everyone thinks about when they think about Twin Peaks?
The one I got the back tattoo of. No, before we get into this discussion of Orchid's Curse, 2 bits of news.
Oh.
One is we set up a Gmail account. So now if you want to write the Meanwhile podcast, either myself or Dan.
That's me.
It's meanwhile.twinpeaks@gmail.com. And here's the thing. If you're listening to this right now,
which you are,
whether you followed us over from the old Doctor Who show or you just decided to watch Twin Peaks for the first time and you came across this podcast, I want to hear from people that don't know already who killed Laura Palmer. I am genuinely curious to know what your thoughts are, who you think did it. Please write us at meanwhile.twinpeaks@gmail.com. I just want to know. We can read what you wrote on air if that appeals to you. You can also sign up for our Patreon for the free tier. There's the paid tiers that support the show, that get the extra podcast, but there's also a free tier anybody can join. And there is a chat in there. Again, I'm new to Patreon, so I'm figuring it out, but you can actually post your things there. I just worry about some person spoil. I don't want anyone to ever get anything spoiled, so I'm pretty strict with that. So if you want to just send us an email, I just want to know. I want to know what it's like to be me when I was 15, but through your eyes. So write us in there. Write us in. Write to us.
In us, right.
The second piece of information is, if you're not aware, David Lynch's, not all of his stuff. I imagine there's a lot of stuff that he has that is not on auction, but currently so many of his things are up for auction, including the Twin Peaks map that he drew, that him and Mark Frost sort of plotted the show with. Apparently, this is the map that when they were trying to rename it from Northwest Passage, they came up with Twin Peaks because of the 2 mountains there. And I believe it was Mark Frost who said, why not Twin Peaks?
They even make reference to it, this map, in the Donahue episode that we talked about on the Patreon. He talks about when they were putting together the map that they had drawn and referenced.
Well, I mean, we drew a map when we started designing the town, and there were these 2 mountains. And we said, what are we going to call this town? So I think one of us said 2 mountains, and no, that won't work. Twin Peaks. And that's what we stuck with.
Are you there, caller?
As of this recording, May 29th, by the time you hear this, several weeks will have gone by. But at this moment in time, it's $22,500.
So if we could just get that Patreon money rolling in, folks.
God, first off, I think all of the stuff belongs in him. Not all of the stuff. There's David Lynch's, book collection, or his records, or his Sonos speaker, or his coffee mugs. Those kind of things, sure. But this should be in a museum. Now, from what it looks like, this lot is separate from the main David Lynch lot. So I don't know what that means.
This should absolutely go into the Museum of Television History.
Yes.
That's incredible. That is the thing that set the entire foundation of the show. And yeah, that's nuts.
Yes, I have mixed feelings about it. I mean, I don't know what the situation is or what's going on. There's things like his director's chair. I imagine maybe there's a number of director's chairs. There's his, there's Eraserhead, his copy of Eraserhead, film reels of it that he would play. So there's some stuff there that's just wonderful. But that piece, God. Oh, you know what they have? From The Return, the picture of the atomic bomb explosion that's behind Gordon Cole.
Oh my goodness.
That is from the show. It says screen matched. It says screen matched. I looked it up because I'm like, does that just mean it looks like the thing on the screen and it's not the thing that was used? But no, I believe, if I'm correct, screen matched means it is the actual thing and they can match it to the piece to prove that it is the thing that was in the show behind him. God, and some awful venture capitalist is going to purchase this thing and it's going to be sitting behind him.
Martin Shkreli is just chomping at the bit to buy this.
It also makes me realize that he is gone, and it's also kind of weird and emotional. And it's like, I literally could just go downstairs. I got 1,500 boxes of my dad's stuff if I just want to go through stuff. So I get not wanting to hold on to everything, but it is like, it's hard to see all that stuff up there. But we're not here to talk about the auction for a number of items that I can never afford. We're here to talk about what I can afford, which is giving you guys podcasts with my time. I can pay with my time. So today we're talking about Orchid's Curse. This is written by Barry Pullman. Now, he'll go on to write 3 more episodes of Twin Peaks after this, where he's going to do Mass Ball, Wounds and Scars, as well as Miss Twin Peaks, which is the penultimate episode in season 2. I know how you guys love penultimate. And it's directed by Graham Clifford. This is Graham Clifford's only episode. Now, you, Dan, may be happy to know that Graham Clifford edited the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh.
So there you go. And Bill Pullman he writes first things, including the show Bloodlines and Hercules and Roswell.
Bill Pullman?
That's fucking crazy, man.
Barry Pullman. Did I say Bill Pullman?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Well, it could fit.
Maybe. Eric, I got to ask you an important question.
Ask me.
Did this beat Cheers?
There's no Cheers. Dan, we're on Saturday at 10. Remember? We've moved to Saturday at 10 all the way in episode 2 of season 2.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, we're still October 27th, 1990, Saturday at 10. Yeah.
But more importantly, did it beat Cheers?
Yes. Well, I guess if Cheers wasn't on, mathematically,
it won.
It did win, which reminds me of the episode of Cheers when Cliff Clavin is on Jeopardy and he said his answer is,
You wrote down, who are 3 people who have never been in my kitchen. No, I'm sorry, that too is wrong. The correct response is, what were the real names of Cary Grant, Tony Curtis, and Joan Crawford?
Be that as it may, Alex, those people have never been in my kitchen.
Well, I'm sure they haven't, but obviously that's not what we were going for when we wrote up that clue.
So it was up against, on CBS, you have Only One Survived, some kind of made-for-TV movie, and again, Carol and Company, American Dreamer. 11.4 million people watched. So let's get into it, Dan. Let me just take you right into the Orchid's Curse. And, the Orchid's Curse.
I know the boys are watching. Laura starts to kiss Josh and Rick. I don't know what to do. So I swim away. I feel like I want to run, but I don't. Tim swims up to me. He kisses my hand. And then me. I can still feel that kiss.
So Cooper wakes up in the Great Northern and he finds something that he missed.
He sure did. It starts with an interesting establishing shot of the Great Northern. I don't think we've seen it from this angle before. We've seen this side of the building in the pilot when we first see Audrey Horne getting into her chauffeured vehicle to school. Love the moment. As soon as Cooper opens his eyes, he reaches for the cassette recorder to talk to Diane. Like, turn off the alarm, talk to Diane. First thing that comes out of his mind. He has the funny little the funny little anecdote that he had a nightmare that he was. What was he doing, Eric? He's
eating his pillow brand earplugs or whatever.
Yes, his air pillow earplugs.
Too much coffee, I believe he attributes to.
He's got to reconsider how much coffee he drinks at night. I've always loved Cooper's narration to Diane the minutia of everything, from the pilot of, everything down to the cent that he spent on each item of food. Fantastic. And in this case, Diane, I am upside down now. He's talking through his yoga routine to her to tell her exactly how he's doing. The day's task coming into focus, objects growing clearer. And Eric, what does he see?
Yeah, we finally get Audrey's note back. It's back to reading My Special Agent, which is what it read in the end of season 1, the last evening. Then it changed to Agent Cooper for the premiere of this, and now it's back again.
I think this is a metaphysical Schrodinger's note sort of situation, that when Cooper looks at it, it says My Special Agent. When he's not looking at it and we see it, it says something totally different. It's absolutely existing in a quantum superposition. It's both at once, Eric.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm down with that.
But yeah, the Giant was right. The Giant has never wrong. He's just finally catching up to what the Giant is saying. That's the real point here. But this guy was shot how many days ago? 2, 3 days by this point, maybe?
He got shot on a Thursday night, and it is now Tuesday, I think. So that's like 4 days, 5 days.
He's basically doing handstands and backflips, and he's got a mortal wound. And what does the note say, Eric? Sort of cryptically, but not really. I've gone north. Jack might have an answer. Love, Audrey. I've gone to One-Eyed Jack's.
Well, he's in the spy mode. Like she's having fun. She's on mission. I love that he's a grinder too, because I'm a grinder. One note, I don't know if you picked up on it. There's now a Native American statue on the side of his table, which had not been there before. So I like to imagine that he's buying local things at the Twin Peaks
gift
shop, or at the swap meet of some kind is going on at Easter Park, which is very cool. And I have a statue that is just like that. It's almost the exact statue. Mine's a little bit different. Now, I didn't buy it because I was into the show. My dad would always say that we were Native American. And I went through my whole life thinking that I was. And then I've gotten a DNA test, and I'm not at all. But for years, I thought I was like a young kid. It was into shamanism. Like I was a seeker. I was always looking for something. And I had a whole period, and I was reading all these books on shamanism, and my grandmother made me that thing. And it's almost exactly the same, but it's not quite right.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that it was new to this episode, but I knew that it hadn't been there previously because we had, second episode maybe, we do a panning shot across his room and you could see all the things. So
yeah, there's a couple times where you see his side of his table. This is the first time that appears.
Should we talk more about the Indian, or do you want to go over to the sheriff's station?
No, we go to the sheriff's station. Hawk has to pee. Lucy leaves for her sisters, and Cooper knows where Audrey is.
Yeah, Hawk is doing it now. The tracker is finally tracking. So he's got some information that it was two female school teachers that live next to the Palmers.
Yeah, when he went to Kalispell, Montana, so he talks to the people that used to own the White House, the former residents.
Right. And they have no recollection of a gray-haired man. I do love that Hawk had to drink 3 pots of chamomile tea just to get that amount of information. Yeah. So just imagining the tediousness. It calls to mind their meeting with Margaret Lanterman, and just having to have the biscuits and tea before you can get to the answers. Just, you gotta be polite. Drink the tea.
Yeah, it's a little like a callback to that, and also to, there was an episode season 1, like where Cooper comes in, he's trying to talk to Harry, and he's like, I really gotta pee, and it's
it's a combination of two. That's very nice. So we got that. Lucy is obviously really reluctant for some reason to head off. She wants to wait there and make sure that the can-do girls, the temp agency, I like the line, sometimes those can-do girls can't, is a really good line. Does it seem to you like Harry was just trying to get rid of Lucy? Like, all right, just get out of here? Or was he being supportive of her? No, like get rid of her, of like, this is enough, Lucy, just go? Or like, Lucy, go, you deserve this, go have
yes. Yeah, and she's having a hard time letting go because, she's in charge of everything. She's answering the phones. She's doing all of this stuff. So she doesn't want to let go. And I think he's just like, come on. He's also a little annoyed, I think, because it's going on and on and on and on and on and on. But that's her.
Lucy.
That's Lucy. But no, I don't think it's a supportive get out of here.
Okay. Yeah. I'll buy that. I mean, Harry's a good guy. If he can put up with both Lucy and Andy, with love in his heart. I don't think there's anything this man can't do.
All right, so over at the Johnsons, Mr. Pinkle sells Shelley and Bobby on equipment that they'll need for Leo.
Mr. Pinkle? Mr. Pinkle? You mean TV's Squiggy, David Lander?
Yeah, he's also
Great to see
on
him.
the air. He's awesome. I love that guy.
It's fantastic.
He has also passed away. So many wonderful people from the show are no longer.
Yeah, just a few years ago, not too long ago. No, he's fantastic. He does a lot of really he plays the comedy really well and subtly, while also being at the same, subtle on the one hand, but also very broad on the other. Like he just does such a great job with not a whole lot in a short scene.
Yeah, and you get to see him again as well, which is very nice.
But definitely, he's got this kind of, I don't know. Because again, I don't remember a damn thing, but he's got this sense of like a con man who's just going to kind of do anything or whatever it is to make a buck. So it seems like he's working with Bobby and Shelley, but it seems like he's really working with Bobby to figure out how to get the most money out of the insurance company. And I like that he says it was either this contraption they have to lift Leo around or what is a first-class wheelbarrow or something like that.
There's one very strange part about this. Or very dark. There's one very dark part about this is he throws in a domestic abuse joke while they're talking about Leo, who is an abuser of Shelley, putting this man back in her home, and then he's saying that thing about it's like a woman, you have to hit it to get it to do what you want it to do. It's what we talk about at the us and the boys at the factory or whatever. It's just awful, but underlines like the danger of Leo and the fact that they're bringing back, and she doesn't want this to happen. She's super nervous about this whole situation anyway, and Bobby's just assuring her and pushing her into it. But yeah, he is definitely a sleazy character, and I love where we're going to see him again.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I don't have anything else on this other than he's a great actor and comedic.
He's a great actor. He's got that moment of slapstick when they can't get the lift machine to work, and that at least is, and then he's finally in there swinging back and forth against the wall. It looks like they had to take out part of the ceiling in order to fit it in. You can see like the ceiling tiles are removed to one spot and lifted up so that he can actually get that dang thing in there, and he's just hitting it back and forth. Also, this is just a small thing, but to the point of him being really funny, but also subtle at the same time. Bobby wants to chat with Mr. Pinkle in private, so he tells Shelley, do you want to get him a drink? When she comes back, she hands him a brown bottle drink. And he's, thanks, and looks at it and realizes, I think that it's not beer. I think it's like a soda or something. It's, thanks. It's just,
I can't remember. He asked for something specifically.
Shelley, could you get Mr. Pinkle a cold drink, please?
Yeah, a diet soda, please. That would be great.
He says, want to get him a drink, and I think he says something that he wants, and he doesn't get what he wants. I believe.
Okay. But it's just that moment of like, thanks. Thanks. I don't know. It was great. It's a small thing.
And then
Great
the
guy.
two of them go and they have their fun together while
They
he's
sure
just
do.
stuck on that machine. But no, we're now back at the courthouse/roadhouse in Leland's bail hearing that is just getting underway.
I mean, we get to have sketch artist Andy back on the job. I think he could be the court artist if they needed to. I think it's just so great. He's practicing his craft. He's very good, but at the same time, he's just got the back of Leland's head. It's so funny.
Maybe a little bit more face. It's just
I love
suggestion.
that. It's because it's a really highly detailed, skilled drawing, but he has no common sense whatsoever. So Harry gently says, maybe more face, and he genuinely takes that on as that's a really good idea. Like, great, like, thanks for the help.
Yeah, he's not a bright guy, Dan.
I love it. I love that about him. I would love Andy. Just setting this up in the Roadhouse of all places, just seems so unusual. We've seen, it was in the pilot, we saw they have a town hall where everyone got together, the mayor spoke, the whole town was there, Cooper was able to talk about the investigation, a curfew and everything. They could have done it there, but they do it at the Roadhouse instead. Is really cool. I like that. Harry gives a nice kind of speech for Leland, talking about, pillar of the community sort of thing, that everyone can trust him. So Leland does get on his bail. Ben, though, is just sitting there. He might as well have a big bucket of popcorn. He's just there to watch the show.
He leaves when Leland gets bail. He leaves, to me, disappointed. He's upset that now Leland is still in his hair. So he's there in the hopes that Leland is going to be out of the way. But that whole exchange was like, he's just disappointed. He's like gone, like it didn't go my way, is the way I read that scene.
Yeah. I read the very least it was like anticlimactic for him. But yeah, I think he was disappointed. What a great friend that Leland's gotten, Ben.
You get a little bit of history about the Palmers, how long they've been in Twin Peaks. They mentioned Joshua Palmer was the first in line. We hear about the instability of Leland. When the prosecutor makes his case, he really pushes for no bail. But yeah, the big standout for me there is what you mentioned. That's Truman's speaking up on his behalf, which is great. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Donna delivers Harold his meal, and the two come to an arrangement.
I gotta say, Harold is a great dresser. This guy knows how to wear a pair of trousers. I love the knit shirt. He's there to trade stories. So Donna will trade her stories for Laura's. It's just he sets up the rules, the ground rules for it. He's not gonna let her take it. In fact, he won't even let her read it. He said he'd read it to her, which is even a bit more controlling.
Yeah, he's very protective of it.
Yeah, well, protective, controlling. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta say, I said this before, when Josie goes and gets the double set of ledgers, or looks for the other set of ledgers, I love a secret compartment.
You get a little doodad or whatever she calls it later.
Doohickey on the side. He does have this one pretentious line. Actually, I grew up in books. That line. Ugh. Okay, that's the only part where I was just like, oh boy, this guy.
But he is innocent and clumsy. Like, he is like a little boy that would say something like that, and he's just so awkward.
Yeah, so Donna decides that she's going to break the one rule that Harold set up for them and tries to take the book. Now, how did you read what Donna was doing here? Was she being playful? Was she being cruel? Was she trying to help him in her own way of like, you can get it. You don't have to be an agoraphobic. Just leave the house. How did you see what she was doing?
If it was really based on her wanting to steal the book, she could have just left. She could have just took off. I mean, she makes plans for basically stealing it later on, but here she's presented with the opportunity, and I feel like when she's trying to bring him outside, she does not think it's going to end the way that it's going to end. And I think she's just being a little bit playful, also kind of a jerk. Like, she is already playing on his innocence and everything else, but I don't think it's 100% awful. But she is awful, I feel like. I can't believe he invites her back, but that's a whole other thing. Because he is a living vampire, like Morbius.
Well, it could almost, like, there should have been a sound effect of his skin sizzling, because that was his total reaction. There was this, is this Dark Shadows we're watching, or is this Twin Peaks?
Well, he is kind of vampire-y, but then when he's outside, there's so much wood ready. So, like, I guess is it the sun that's, because you think it's just basically being outside and being unsafe, and that's too much for him.
Right.
But there's plenty of wood. Who's cutting the wood? Is he going out there? Is he putting, like, one gloved hand on and reaching for the logs and bringing them into his fire?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's got woods on wheels, so someone just delivers it for him.
Donna's approach to this whole thing, she's very flirty, too. Like, she's already sort of using her femininity or his desire for her, because that whole thing when he talks about, I grew up in books, and there's things that you can't always learn from a book, and sometimes you see, what you want in life through other people, and they talk about dreams, and I love the idea of, like, when she says maybe our dreams are real.
Yep.
Offering him, like, oh, you're looking for other people to fill this void, and I could be that thing. And she's really, this is where you can make an argument and say she is manipulative and being awful. It's just levels of it. I don't think she's not mature enough to realize how far she's going until she brings it to the point of him completely breaking down. Mm-hmm. And then she sort of comes back into being more of a decent person. But to me, that's the biggest standout moment of the scene, is just watching her start to bring this corruption into his little cocoon, that eventually we're going to see it with the ashes on the floor and everything, where she's really sort of ruining him.
Yeah, I mean, although this wouldn't be the first time, having, the backstory of Laura's relationship with him and what she did to him, as we read in the diary, that's the thing I was trying to think of. It's Donna is like you said, using her sexuality, her charm, knowing that he has maybe some sort of attraction to her, and lures him out of the house, it is again taking advantage of his innocence in a similar way to what Laura did to him.
Yes, but I would almost combat that a little bit.
Sure.
In that last episode, he's clearly also saying, like, you could be sometimes I talk to friends, sometimes I talk to lovers. So he's being a creep.
Yeah.
And she's just picking up those pieces because she's smart. And she's using those because she knows that's his in.
Yeah.
And then to jump on your point, because I think it's a good one. Yeah. Is that corruption that we saw with him where I'm referencing Different Strokes and the bike shop and everything?
Sure.
Is that a result of Laura's influence over him? And now he has that darkness that's coming out in how he's treating Donna with the wine and that you could be lovers and you could be friends. Like, so is that just manifesting in him and then she's feeding off of that and then giving it back to him?
That was always Laura's fear, was that she wanted to distance herself from people because she thought that the darkness or the corruption inside her was going to be contagious and that she would contaminate people around her. You're actually like drawing a straight line to that, and like perhaps that really is what's happening. He's got the diary, he's read it who knows how many times now, so maybe it has like kind of seeped into him. Wow.
Right. And plus what she did to him.
Yeah.
And there's stuff that happens in Fire Walk with Me during when you see how the diary goes to him and what happens in that moment. So like, yeah, you can definitely see that. So I just wanted to clarify some of the things where I'm saying like she's using her feminism. It's not that she's just this like girl playing on a completely innocent man. She sees what he wants and she's using that to get what she wants, which is the diary.
Right. It's manipulation, and this is the avenue for it. If it had been something else, she probably would have used that instead, but this is the thing that she saw. Yeah, good point.
We're back at the Bang Bang Bar. Somebody went to Kinko's and printed out that giant picture of Leo's face that we all love for his competency hearing. It's underway. Van Dyke Parks is defending Leo Johnson, and the judge introduces Cooper to a black Yukon sucker punch. And Shelley learns that Leo is coming home. A lot of stuff going on here.
Van Dyke Parks?
Van Dyke Parks, who co-wrote Smile with Brian Wilson.
I wrote lyrics for Brian Wilson. Most of them, when an album was done, called Pet Sounds, which readied us for the next record, which still is an unexplained event. I don't understand it.
He worked with Harry Nilsson. He's worked with a ton of people. He's done like arrangements for Fiona Apple. He's worked with U2, I think. Like he's been around for a while. He's defending Leo.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. No idea. That's cool.
He apparently had known the director, Graham Clifford, for years, and I guess he had suggested him because I think he was already in another movie where he was playing a lawyer or something like that. But yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Great. Well, I mean, you already mentioned the most important thing is that giant headshot of Leo. So everyone wants that. He's got a shag rug on his chest.
Matches the mane that we saw in Donahue.
The mane, he's got that Beauty and the Beast mane.
Like, is his hair, because now his hair, like, does he just get scared and then, like, move down his body and hide in his chest?
It's sentient hair.
When he wants to show off, it, like, moves back up to his hair.
Oh, Mr. Lodwick is the prosecutor. I love that Judge Sternwood is doing everything he can to not roll his eyes loudly at Lodwick while he's talking. It's just Sternwood is just fantastic. Every courtroom should have a bar in it, and every bar should have Sid behind it. So they got the Black Yukon Sucker Punch. What a crazy looking drink that is. That's a lot of fun. But only Sternwood and Harry have any. Cooper toys with it.
Yeah, he stares at it. He like keeps touching it. He's looking at it, and he's like not sure what to do. And you could just see it all in his face. It's great.
He was about to have a sip, and the judge starts talking to him. And
Harry's right there drinking it, and Harry puts a big dent in it. I think when he leaves, there's like it's almost gone.
This is when we find out. Sternwood asks, how long you been here? And so he's been here for 12 days. This is a very jam-packed, momentous 12 days that have gone on.
Yeah, we're going on 2 weeks. It's a lot happened.
Lots happened. And then Sternwood has this great line.
I'll advise you to keep your eye on the woods. The woods are wondrous here, but strange.
Yes, I love that.
Such a great line. So, yep. Shelley knows that Leo's coming home, so she's really concerned. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going on between her and Bobby right now, but it feels to me like she's having second thoughts about all this. But she's still willing to go along with the plan that Bobby's has to get that insurance money. But it really doesn't look like she's on board right now. I don't know, but what else did I miss?
You know, the judge saying, did you mention, like, he refers to Leo as a head of cabbage?
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of rough. But the whole woods are strange idea. We get Cooper definitively saying, in his opinion, Leo didn't do it.
Right.
Like, the judge is asking about, like, does a town want a lynching or and he asks him, like, hey, straight up, did this guy do it? And he says no, which is why I think he comes to the decision to have, him come home to Shelley, poor Shelley. It's feel bad for her.
The deliberation of the judge with the sheriff in town and a federal agent, it just doesn't seem quite proper that he'd be doing this. I mean,
I think it's 100%. I mean, whether it's proper or not, I think it's great because he wants to know, like, what does the town want? Is this really the killer? Because that's the thing that really sets him off, right? Is when the DA brings up Laura Palmer and he's like, I didn't know, because we forget it's this one murder that affected everybody in this town. So this is like a huge hot button issue. Now that they're tying Leo to Laura, he's really got to know, like, did this guy kill her? So yeah, that's good. I don't have anything. I think you did everything else. All right. So at Big Ed's house, Nadine sees James again for the first time. Where are Mom and Dad?
Where are Mom and Dad? I mean, we're really going with this plot line.
Well, it goes so much farther.
I vaguely remember that it does, but it's just so out there and disconnected from the rest of anything else that's going on, which you can imagine if in an alternate world where they decided, they don't have to answer the question, they could just let it go for a while, and that the town is just full of stories. How many other strange little side stories like this would we have gotten out of Twin Peaks? As we go through each of the different, thousands of residents, you can really imagine all the strange things that would happen. But this one is just bonkers. Doc Hayward said, just roll with it. So don't contradict her. Just let her go. And just, it ends the scene with her going to the kitchen and coming out with the fridge door in her hand. It just came off. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And they do that like edit where it sort of speeds it up a bit when she does it. It works. Like, the comedy works really well. Everett McGill's delivery when he's like, whoa, when reacting to Nadine with the where's Mom and Dad before he figures to tell her they're on vacation or they're out of town or whatever, is awesome. It's right on the edge. It's right on the edge of too much. But they're riding it, and it's working now.
Yep.
We do hear that Jacoby's gone. Like, so there's some talk of Jacoby, like, can't you take Nadine to Jacoby? But he's in Hawaii at this point, so he's off the board.
He's recuperating. Yep.
All right. At the Great Northern, Ben meets the mysterious Mr. Tajimura, who wants in on Ghostwood. Cooper and Ben talk to the kidnappers, and Hank is hired to get Audrey and the money.
Well, yes, if he can manage it, also do that. So Tajimura's there with an associate in tow. So now we got a couple of mysterious strangers there with an offer out of the blue. Tokyo Banks ready to move on this right away. They've got commitment letters. They've got a prospectus. More importantly, Eric, they got $5 million.
They got that check, and he's got Ben's attention, right? Because the Iceland deal is still sort of happening, but in trouble, right? Because Leland made that phone call, and sort of things are on rocky ground. So this would be great news for Ben if this could work out.
Outside in the hallway, we have Bobby following Hank coming in, but then he has to hide from Cooper, who comes wandering in with a kazoo. Is that what he's got? Or it was a duck? Or is it a duck call?
It's maybe that same duck call. I don't know. I was just so preoccupied with the Sikhs in the back, trying to figure out, like,
is that what it was? Yeah, it was right. Another convention, maybe.
I don't know if it was a convention or just a group together or what.
Yeah, I didn't notice it again, but that caught my eye. Now that you mentioned, there's always the things in the background. I do have to keep reminding myself in the double R to be looking at the patrons in the booth. But that one you couldn't miss. But I like that little game of hiding from each other as they go. But yeah, Cooper arrives just in time for the call with the kidnappers. And the way that he just kind of relaxes onto that sofa, it looks like a man who is in command of the situation. He just has no doubts about how this is going to go, and he's just ready for it.
Yeah, because he knows something they don't know, right? Yeah, he knows where she really is.
Yeah, so that's it. We got Hank saying that he's, Ben telling Hank to follow Cooper and also bring back the briefcase as well as Audrey if he can. I was surprised that he didn't reverse it and say bring back the briefcase and Audrey if you can, but you know.
He's not a complete monster. Well, maybe he is a complete monster. I just want to go to that failed amusement park with the headless horse that they were supposed to leave the money at. That's what I want to find out where that is in Twin Peaks.
Very specific directions about where to drop this money. Yeah.
Hello, it's Eric. Welcome to the midpoint. You didn't realize there'd be a midpoint, but here we are at the midpoint. I want to take a minute and thank some of the Black Lodge members that have joined us in the Red Room. Who are we thanking today? We're thanking Banjo Track. We're thanking Dawn Adamo. We're thanking Gregory Flanagan. And we are thanking Chuck Suffle. I may want all my Garmonbozia, but you will have my heart forever. How did they get here? How did they get a shout out like this? Because they have joined our Patreon, which is available right now. You get access to the Pink Room, where we have a discussion of the cast of Twin Peaks on Donahue, and the Wild at Heart episode of Club Silencio has just launched, so you're going to want to listen to it. You just have to put a couple dollars down. It is free, too. You can also join for free, and you should be able to use the chat and to communicate with all the members, and you can ask us questions, and we'll do Ask Me Anythings and whatever you want. It's an open community that I'm figuring out as we go. So that's it. So if you want to go and you want to support the show, go to ericgrissom.com/meanwhile, and you should see a link for the Patreon there. All right, let's get back to the proper episode. All right, so at the Haywards, Donna and Maddie hatch a plan to steal the diary.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this.
Thought you liked this guy. Yeah, it's just a reminder that Donna is saying she likes this guy, but really betraying him, and Maddie is bringing it to her attention that, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And it also is like insight into Donna, like we were just talking about before, like, is she like trying to get him out there to be cruel or mean or whatever? Like, there is a part of her that genuinely likes him, because there is stuff to like about him. He is charming in his own way. And even when they have their moment later on, when they're together, like, there is something there.
Totally.
Like, with the two of them. So it just shows how far she's willing to go to get this diary.
Well, I mean, she's still it makes me think of the conversation that she had at Laura's grave. And that, you know, Laura, you're gone, but we're still solving your problems, and I'm done with that. And yet, she can't stop herself. Like, she, you know, after that moment could have just decided, all right, I'm done. I don't need to do this anymore. But she just can't let go. And she's willing to hurt someone else in Harold in order to get that information. Oh, Donna.
All right, so we're at One-Eyed Jack's. Jean reveals his plan to kill Cooper, give One-Eyed Jack's to Blackie, but Nancy learns what's really going to happen.
Yeah. Jean's got that mechanical blade on his wrist, this spring-loaded...
yeah, it's a little like Taxi Driver, but with blades, or little baraka.
He's ready to go. Yeah, Blackie wants to run Jax, but think it might not go down if they kill Audrey. I do like, so how are we going to do it? He has the tray of all the accoutrement for, you know, the bags of heroin, the syringe, got the rubber tubing. And then when he's not looking, Blackie grabs one of the bags of heroin, because of course she's going to.
Sure, it's good stuff. It's not a bad way to go. I hate hearing that Blackie's going to get killed, but the part that I want to talk about is what you think the plan is. The one way you could look at it, like, is Jean planning on killing Audrey, killing Blackie, blaming Blackie for Audrey's death, heroin, Blackie's a junkie, and then manipulating Ben for the rest of his life in other ways and taking money and milking him? Or are they going to kill Ben too at some point? Is he going to be someone, when he talks about everybody wants to eat a hamburger, but you don't want to know how that's not what he says, but it's the same concept.
You got the steak, but you don't want to know how it's made. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, like, it's just, okay, well, what's his plan with Ben? Because she says, like, you're going to kill this guy's daughter. Ben's, you're not going to be friends with Ben. So I'm, like, wondering if, it's actually, let's blame Blackie for it, because that would be easy to pull off.
I think it's the only way that it makes sense.
All right. So, again, we'll get to Blackie. But you meet all these great characters, and they're gone before you even have enough time with them. All right, so we're at the station. Andy mans the phones and finds out that he's a whole damn town, and Cooper and Harry plan their rescue mission in secret.
Andy covered in Post-it notes is just
Too
great.
few sperms.
Too few sperms.
Great image.
It's just Post-it notes everywhere, just on himself, all over the walls. The surface is covered in Post-it notes. Just amazing. And as she's reading the results, he says, go slow, I want to write it all down. And she says at one point, very good, sir. Like talking to someone who is clearly having trouble keeping up with what she's talking about.
Yeah, well, you can't get that from his end of the conversation.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. She's like, she knows who she's dealing with. But yeah, that line that it's not, what is it? It's not 3 sailors in a boat going fishing. It's a whole
It's like
damn
not 3 men on a fishing trip. It's a whole damn town. A whole damn town.
Yeah.
I know what that means. It means they're not real people.
Which is so good.
That is so
That's
great.
a great line. Yeah, but so it's just Harry walking by. I'm a whole damn town, and Harry just like, okay, that's Andy. That's fine.
Yeah, he does the best reaction. Harry is so funny when he just smiles and nods at him when he says that, and when he comes back and he's like, you don't even want to know what I am dealing with out there.
It's so good. Oh, then Hawk shows up. Hawk has tracked down the one-armed man.
He's staying at the Robin's Nest Motel. Another bird.
We haven't seen
reference.
the Robin's Nest. That's not the one from before. Okay.
No, he was at a different one before, but it's like a bird reference.
Another
Owls,
bird
birds,
reference.
all that.
We got the room was lived in, but he wasn't there. But he does find the drug. His description of this has a weird, deep smell.
Weird, deep smell. I love that language. It's so good.
What a evocative yet meaningless description of a smell.
No, I don't know if it's meaningless. It has like it's a deep smell of a lot of elements that are in there. Like I get a lot out of it.
I don't know.
Think it's meaningless. And then Harry just goes right and starts huffing. Harry's going right in. He don't know how many brain cells he's going to learn.
It doesn't
No,
matter.
but like it's a strange deep smell. Like there's a lot of I don't know. To me, it's completely...
That's what I said. I think it's evocative. It's just not.
Well, you said
specific.
meaningless. I was just
okay. Maybe not. Maybe I misspoke. Evocative, but non-specific. I don't know what deep smells like, but okay.
Like many ingredients, many things in it, not just one thing. Like a deep smell. Like there's much in here.
I thought of it more.
It's a
like,
combo drug.
Okay, it's just. I want to spend the next 20 minutes parsing what he meant by a weird deep smell. But the fellas, though, they're plotting out their plan to go to Jack's to find Audrey. They've got a floor plan. They're talking through what they're going to do. Hawk comes in, and they hide the plans, even though Hawk is a bookhouse boy. They're keeping this thing close.
Right, exactly. Even more secretive than the Bookhouse Boys.
Yeah.
A secret among secrets, a hidden society among hidden societies.
But you just know Hawk, being the expert tracker that he is already on to them. He knows that something's up there, which is pretty obvious whenever Cooper is just taking a big piece of paper, flipping it over as soon as he comes in, but okay.
Yeah. Although the first time I saw it, I was surprised and happy and fucking fist pumping at the end of this episode when he shows up. So for me, it was a surprise in the moment. Yeah.
I think it worked out together. But the last piece of information we got, which I think was pretty well foreshadowed in the previous episode and then earlier in this episode, Andy's sifting through all the Post-it notes and he finds the number for Lucy's relatives, and turns out it's not. It's an abortion clinic.
Well, yeah, there's 2 numbers. There's 2 numbers on there, and he just called the wrong of the 2.
Okay. Well, it's the Adams.
It's like her crazy notes. Yeah, Adams Abortion Clinic. What a weird,
Adams Abortion.
what a weird name to be answering the phone as well. Like Adams Abortion Clinic. We got sale. Like it's just so.
Yeah, it's not Steve's. It's not Bill's. It's Adams.
Not Planned Parenthood. It's Adam's abortion clinic.
Not Eve's, it's Adam's. I guess Lucy took Dick up on his plan. Didn't take the money.
Well, you don't know yet. You'll have to keep watching.
Okay. Anyway, Eric, was there anything else in the scene that you want?
Yes.
Tell me.
There's not a lot of stuff in this scene, but if you look at all of her notes, like there's some cool things going on with her notes. One of them, I have no idea what it is. It just says Bernie Lentz lives in really big font or really big pen mark in quotes. I don't know what that means. There's like a bunch of dashes, like she was trying to do a word jumble or something that says Cooper. And then there's a little drawing of what I guess is Dorothy, because it says no place like home, which is, we've had Wizard of Oz references in Twin Peaks before, like going all the way back to Zen or the skill to catch a killer. The following episode, he woke up. I had a dream. You were there. So that was cool just to see that bit. You already talked about Adam's abortion clinic. I just can't believe that that's the name of the place and how they open up. That's all. I just like the pictures on the thing.
I mean, I were those pictures
of sperms?
Were those on the like the blotter she had on her desk?
Yeah, it's whatever she's been doodling with. So it's like the focus is where it says the Larry number.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't pause and look at that. But I knew there were some doodlings and drawings, but of course they're going to have things in there that were interesting to look at, and I just didn't think.
There's a bunch of there's a lot of
great.
Like phone numbers and like what must be license plates and like JL5-6392 is circled. So I don't remember offhand. Is that like a reference to something else that they had done? But I don't think so. I think it's just sort of nonsense. I would love to know like who Bernie Lentz is. So if you know who Bernie Lentz is, you can use our new email and write us.
What was that email, Eric?
Meanwhile.twinpeaks@gmail.com. Is that right?
Correct.
Yes, meanwhile.twinpeaks@gmail.com. So write us in and tell us what the
Bernie Lentz.
All right, we're jumping over to the double R for a brief moment. James is the odd man out, and Maddie keeps her plans with Donna from him.
There's not a whole lot to say. Poor sad emo James.
Well, I do like when he comes in and she's just so not into him.
Yes.
She's like, why they don't have coffee at home, whatever. And then she leaves, and then there's like a laughing person off screen.
Where are you going?
Home. Bye, James.
That's having their own thing, but he kind of looks over and then looks back, and it feels like she's laughing at his mistake.
Yeah, that was definitely the
which was great
impetus for him to go and follow her or leave there. Yeah.
All right, so Maddie watches Harold's home from the trees. This time, someone's peeping on Harold instead of the other way around. And Donna tells Harold the story of Josh, Rick, and Tim. We finally got here.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. This is the story that we discussed in Laura's diary when we had that conversation previously. If I hadn't read that already, the way Donna starts telling the story, I would have thought she was making it up. I don't know what it is in her performance, but it just didn't seem to me, just the very beginning, when she's recounting the names, it just seemed to me like she was perhaps trying to just appease Harold because she wanted to get to the diary and get what she wanted. But obviously, no. She's recounting the whole story and hearing it from her point of view as well, having already experienced it through Laura's eyes, was really nice. I don't recall this from watching it the first time. Didn't really recall this happened while reading it. So now getting to put these pieces together was really satisfying. To have that exact story mirrored from the other end was just great. Harold there enthralled with the story, listening to what's going on. The way that she says she fell in love with Tim after the first kiss, and she just has tears in her eyes. Is that when she's smoking she's holding a cigarette. She's smoking a cigarette,
yeah.
And that's when the ash falls on the ground right inside his apartment.
That's how the scene ends.
Yeah. I mean, it was a nice. It was again just because of that. Like I said, the mirroring of that story was really effective. I don't know anything else with that, but
it's so great. I think to me, like the part where she's saying the names, I thought she did a good job of looking like she's just trying to recall a past memory versus deceit. But Laura Flynn Boyle is so great in this scene. and the way that the dancing and her hips, and it feels so much like that moment in the diary. And I even just her lines, like, I feel like I want to run, but I don't. And like, you're drawn in. And Harold, his whole job, he has one job, write the story down. But he's so into it. He's so pulled out of it. He completely stops writing, and he's just watching her, and she finishes her story. And it was so beautiful and everything. And he's brought in. And again, the moment now the ash hits the floor, his house is unclean. And we're going to see that play out later as far as the betrayal goes. But it's like it's a great moment. And I remember reading this, and like when you hear her say those names, and you're like, I know that, I know that scene, and it's just so cool.
Yep. And it ends with the ash on the floor, and it does the dissolve and cuts to the wind through the trees, which is just, yes. I love that repeated image just comes up throughout the show over and over again. I really just love that dissolve. Was really great.
All right, so at One-Eyed Jack's, Harry gives a hired goon the old blue ball special, and the rescue mission goes into full swing while Jean prepares Audrey's last shot.
Yeah, the fellas are outside. They're putting their plan into action, and while Harry goes up and subdues one of the goons with a nut shot, you got the owl out there watching. Yeah,
watching Cooper.
Yeah. And Cooper's got that look of like, I remember what the giant said. The owls are not what they seem. So he's definitely got that look of recognition on his face of paying special attention to this. I like this whole sequence of the two of them infiltrating Jack's. They go through an area that's under construction. Was it going to be like
it was like a
Roman
bath
or something like
Roman
that?
bath or
something
something.
like that.
Yeah.
Pardon our mess as they're putting that together. And you have the people inside, the patrons and women working there, and the two of them just wandering the halls, not being bothered by anybody, looking completely out of place. But I love the way that this layout within Jack's feels like a maze almost. To the point where like Cooper's like, stay here, and he goes down one other the dead end. Like, even though they had the semblance of a map before going in, they still get lost in this little, which doesn't seem to be a huge place, but just claustrophobic, and could easily get turned around or end up in the wrong room. So it is tense.
You have to sort of imagine, like, okay, Cooper went there, he's taking notes, he's mapping the place out in his head and remembering things. Did they pull tax records from Canadian things to get it? I don't know, maybe, because when you look at that map in the sheriff's station, it's pretty detailed.
It is.
It's like architectural plans. But I like to pretend it's Cooper having done his own
reconnaissance.
Can't speak. Reconnaissance?
Yeah.
Reconnaissance mission. And he knows, like, they're building the baths. Mm-hmm. This is the perfect place to enter because it's going to allow them to walk around those things without being seen. Like, you're only going to run into so many people, whereas, like, the other parts of the brothel that are in full swing wouldn't be good. Because
Right.
if you look on that map, he's got like the circled thing about where they're going to enter.
Yep.
I love that. The thing with Harry and the blue ball special, he must have carried that ball around he takes it out of his pocket. So he's already got the blue ball with him. He's like, okay, just in case I need to shove this in someone's mouth. He's always got that blue ball for just such an occasion.
We can't skip over, of course, a conversation between Blackie and Jean. I like that Blackie says about Nancy. The animosity between these two characters is so visceral. We've only seen them on screen together like twice. Like, you don't get a whole lot of screen time, but you really get a sense of what's going on. And Blackie saying, what did she do for you that I can't? And Jean says, well, something new. That whole backstory that's there, just implied in just a few words, is terrific.
Blackie being this object of affection that has now been used up, as the Horn brothers and Jerry Horn says it. And then she's dealing with this in her personal life with her younger sister, who's now moving in. And so she's always feeling like she's not loved and not. And Blackie, I'd give you a great life. We'd have a great life together. We could rule One-Eyed Jack's. Yeah. Back at Harold's, Harold and Donna kiss, and Donna signals Maddie it's time to steal the diary.
What I can't get over is that Harold just snapped off that orchid just to show her the petals on that flower. Seems like a guy that's growing orchids, that seems pretty wasteful to me. But I guess he's going to turn it into a present for her or something later.
It was all about the learning experience at that moment.
It really was. Yeah, I don't know that I have much to say about this. What you tell me?
All right, so this part is great. Like, so first off, Harold is instigating everything. Like, innocent Harold, not innocent Harold. He's the first one that's touching her hand. Then he's moving to like her face. Then he's going in for the kiss. There is a part of her clearly that likes it or likes him, or she does a very good job of showing that she's sort of into it before she goes and gives the signal out. So she's conflicted. This is becomes like too much for Harold. Like when he gets his level of excitement, like he is a creep. I always loved this guy, but now like really doing this close reading of the show is like, okay, then he gets so excited, he's got to go in the other room and whatever he's going to do. I imagine he was just pouring ice cubes on himself or something. She like runs over and she does the thing. There's a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff. They do these live shows or these Twin Peaks festivals and they get the cast and they all talk about their time in the show. So is this true? Is this stuff not true? I'm just repeating stuff that I've heard come from Lenny Von Dolen's mouth. Also, Sherilyn Fenn talks about this a lot. So just a little behind the scenes drama. So I don't know if you know, but Lara Flynn Boyle and Kyle MacLachlan were dating.
Right.
So while this is going on behind the scenes, they are dating. Mm-hmm. According to Lenny, while they were shooting this scene, when they were kissing, in between cut and action,
she would run off and jump into Kyle's arms. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. And
I can't imagine what it would have been like in that scene to be an actor and then hit cut and then the woman that you're with is running across to her boyfriend who is the star of the show and like all of the weird, strange pressure things. I don't know. Lara Flynn Boyle may have been wonderful to work with. Maybe she was not wonderful to work with. Who knows? I'm just repeating things. All the stuff that, the Audrey Cooper plotline was supposed to go through and Kyle MacLachlan stopped it. And I will defend Kyle MacLachlan. There's so many people that are mad about that and, that thought that's the way it was supposed to go, and Sherilyn Fenn and the writers and everyone. But I think Kyle MacLachlan did the right thing. Full stop. A lot of people blame Lara Flynn Boyle.
You are with him insofar as what? That it was the right decision not to have...
That it was the right thing not to do
a relationship?
That. Yeah. Yes, because it's not... We would not be looking at Twin Peaks in the same way if Cooper pursued a relationship with a high school girl. The fact that it was meant to be this way and it keeps him wonderful. Whatever you can say about the time, and I don't think these writers weren't thinking about it and whether they should have been or shouldn't have been. It wasn't even on their mind that it would be inappropriate because they're all old. Like they're old. They're adults playing high school kids. Like, Sherilyn Fenn's not a high school girl when she's in this. Kyle MacLachlan was really young as well. Like, you think he's 30 or something like that at the time. But what I was going to say is within certain fans blame Lara Flynn Boyle that she was jealous of all the attention that, like, Sherilyn Fenn was getting and so wanted to kill that plot line. And so the writers, they have all this stuff to do with the two of them, and they have to change it, which is a lot of people say the weakness in season 2 was because all of the B-level stories and C-level stories become A-level stories because the main story is gone, right? They're scrambling to figure out what to do. Mark Frost was on a radio station, WFDU, and he touches on some of that.
And without getting too gossipy about it, somebody in the cast was involved with somebody else.
Right.
And that somebody else was not overly thrilled with the idea of the somebody else having love scenes with a third somebody else.
Right.
And so she kind of turned the screws and put the kibosh on it.
Right.
And it was a curveball that we all had to react to, and react to pretty quickly.
I wondered if that was the reason why the Annie Blackburn character was brought in.
It was indeed.
Yeah.
I agree with you in that I think it would have ruined Cooper's character if they actually had the relationship. I'm glad that it didn't, for whatever reason, if this is the why it didn't happen, or some other version of events is what transpired. If Cooper and Audrey had actually gotten together, it would have lessened the entire show, and especially Cooper. I think Cooper's acknowledgement that he has these feelings, that they are reciprocated, but that he has this restraint and does not pursue it, is what makes him, one of the things that makes him so exceptional. And to lose that would have damaged the character so severely. I think it's fantastic for whatever reason they decided not to do it, and for whatever other consequences it may have done to the show. I think it was a huge benefit to the character of Cooper overall. So just emphatically agreeing with you. I hadn't heard any of that before, so that's incredible.
Yeah, and whatever. You should take the show as it is, and the behind the scenes stuff, if that's taking away from stuff, like, it's just like, when we get to Fire Walk with Me.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, Cooper was supposed to have a much bigger part. The fact that he doesn't makes the movie better, in my opinion, because of what it allowed to bring new characters in that are also interesting. So, all of the stuff was meant to happen. But I hate when people are like, it's like Yoko Ono broke up the Beatles. It's like, no, she didn't. Yoko Ono is probably one of the coolest Beatles, to be honest with you. But like, John Lennon, like, these are men that are making their own decisions. Like, you don't need to find a boogie woman to be like, oh, she's the reason why. It's like, you know what? Even if she was the reason why, it was the right call. But
ultimately
it was
ended up
Kyle
right.
MacLachlan's call, and that was right for him. So we jump back to One Eye Jacks. Cooper rescues Audrey, but not before putting down Nancy. Meanwhile, Truman watches as Jean kills Blackie. Come on. Hawk saves the day, and Hank gets caught with the wrong ID.
Cooper deftly manages Nancy, goes in for the handshake and grabs her, and finally finds Audrey. I love, Cooper, again, just knowing everything that's going on around him. He just with a glance knows what's going to happen, catches sight of Nancy in a mirror.
Yeah, she's getting the blade. It's a great shot.
Yeah, and but I love... She's coming at him with a knife, and without even looking, grabs her wrist and turns around, and then, don't love this, punches her in the gut. But yeah.
She was going to stab him to death. So
I want to be clear. But I love the part that he grabbed her wrist without looking, and then he punched her in the gut. So just to make sure.
I'm with you.
Yeah. But, Nancy's just there. She doesn't do anything to alert anyone else. Was she maybe not entirely on board with what was gonna happen, or she was just planning to kill him?
No, I think she was definitely on board. She's trying to manipulate him by saying like, "Hey, like, oh, I'm good," but at that point, he grabs her first, right? And so he has a gun, from what I remember. Right? He's a FBI agent. I think he's armed. Let's assume he's armed. I can't remember
if he's
exactly
out or not, but sure.
if he's out or not.
Yeah.
But she knows he's an FBI agent as well.
That's true.
So she doesn't know, is this like a joint task mission with the Canadian? Like he is an FBI guy.
Surrounded by men on horses the entire way around.
Yeah. Should she have screamed? Like, who knows? But like, she's sort of manipulating and playing with him, and then she's going to kill him.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, she just knew she was going to try to catch him when he wasn't looking. Audrey opening her eyes and says, "My prayers," is just great.
Yeah.
Oh, what a touching moment. The two of them really should have gotten together. I'm just kidding. So we find out that, Blackie still has it for Jean. They go in for the kiss, and Chekhov's wrist blade comes into play. We saw the blade earlier. You knew it had to be used, and it's bye Blackie. Man, though, the blood coming out of her mouth, and Jean still has on the ground kissing her, and he looks up and has the blood all over his mouth, and loves it. This guy,
second vampire reference in this show, really.
His skin glitters in the sun. He's just the most psycho of all of the Renault brothers. They broke the mold. Everyone else
takes a shot at Harry too.
Yeah, yep. And it looks like it's lights out for the boys. They're heading back out the way they came. But there's a goon there waiting for them with a gun, and we got Hawk coming in there, saving the day with a knife throw to the back, man.
With a murder.
Yeah, straight up murder. Well, Presumably, that guy's not going to be feeling too good tomorrow at the very least. But yeah,
because he's out cold. Like he's not like, ow, like getting up. Like that's probably what would happen in real life. He must have hit the exact thing to take him out permanently. But I don't. Do you have more to say about that scene? Because I want to talk about that scene because it's great. I talked about this last week. I think it was last week or maybe the week before. No, I think it was last week, about how Cooper was acting. Maybe no, was it 2 ago?
Oh,
no, I can't remember. Doesn't matter. When Cooper is talking to Doc Hayward about Leland, and I hinted a little bit at this, like, are you okay with murder, Doc? Like, Hawk just straight up murders this guy in front of him to save him.
Right.
How is that really any different than Leland killing the man who killed his daughter? He's trying to do something right, and he went too far. Here, Cooper's going too far. And this is something that shows how much he's changed and how Audrey and his feelings for Audrey and all of these things are putting him in situations that contradict his belief system.
Yeah.
And like that he's going to grapple with this kind of stuff. And here we went in when we weren't supposed to. We sort of killed a guy that we weren't supposed. Like that's some guy. Maybe that was the only job he could get. He's
Right,
dead.
right.
And it's great to just see like what Cooper's becoming in pursuit of his own wants versus neans and all of that stuff.
That's
So
a
it's
really good point.
It's really cool.
Wow. Yep. I mean, everything about this is, this is not an official, it's not on the books. They presumably snuck across the border. Who knows? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, all of this is he is.
And that may come into play later.
Uh-oh. Foreshadowing.
Do you have anything else here? Because I want to talk about we got also Hank with the wrong ID, man.
Yeah, the last thing that I was just going to say, you had mentioned, we got Jean finds Hank. Hank's on the phone and sneaks up behind him, grabs the ID and sees that it's Mr. Lodwick's, the DA identification. A small detail, just to let you know, in the closed captioning on the episode, it reads as, Monsieur Lodwick, he is awfully fat. He does have an accent and whatever, but it's like, that's how you're going to interpret what he says? What a terrible thing to like translate it as. That's what he thought.
Just someone that had it out for the actor. That
Must have been.
DA.
They had a grudge. Anyway, but yeah.
All right, so we're going to jump over to Harold's. Maddie gets caught stealing Laura's diary. Donna betrays his trust, and Harold reveals the ultimate secret.
Yeah. I mean, as much as Donna has planned this, and now this is her second breaking and entering. Well, not breaking and entering this time, but still going in with ulterior motives. Before with Jacoby, and now here, she's not very good at this. Just not good at all. And then, trying to get Maddie to find the doohickey on the side of the bookcase, and obviously kind of screws that up by being too loud and obvious. But it does. The ending of this is just bizarre and bonkers, and I love it. Of Harold confronting the two of them, going through separate doors. The two women are huddling together. He's coming at them, grabs the garden implement and scratches himself down the face. And the whole time it's being shot at a Dutch angle, so everything feels really off kilter and weird. And Harold is just losing it, man. I can't say I totally blame him. With the
no, he's been betrayed. I mean, that's scary. That I found that very scary when I was a kid. The scraping down of his face. I don't know why. Maybe it's silly or it seems a little heavy-handed, but I remember that scene was just like, oh my God, this is insane. And I love the idea of like the ultimate secret, right? It is knowing who killed you, because that's this whole show, is knowing who killed Laura Palmer. Laura wanted to know who killed her. We all want to know who killed Laura. It's just sort of reminding us of the beating heart of this show.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel like we're moving away from it. Like Cooper, the last few episodes is all about Audrey, really, about getting into One Eye Jess. He's not, other than Donna and the Harold stuff, we're not on that, case. I mean, the police aren't really as much.
No one's on the case. Like
Donna. Donna and
no, but I'm sorry. No one's really on that storyline at all. I mean, Leland obviously because he's arrested for that, but like all the other storylines themselves are not really centered around that. So yeah, you're right.
Only this
bring
one.
it back to that and
this one.
remember
right.
This is the thing we're here for. Yep.
Which is also, I think, the plot of a. God damn, my brain is the worst. Who is in Mean Girls?
Lindsay Lohan.
I believe that is the plot of a Lindsay Lohan movie. Doesn't she die? And she's like, I got to figure out who killed me or something. And that's the entire, I'm sure it's a plot of like several movies. I see in my head a trailer where Lindsay Lohan's like going, the ultimate secret is knowing who killed you. But I'll scour YouTube. If I can find that, I'll put that in there.
Die just to keep your secret?
You should be dead by now.
I know who killed me.
Just search all of your Lindsay Lohan DVDs. I'm sure you have it somewhere.
Yeah. No, it's it. It's a good ending.
Hey, Eric, what do we have coming up next?
Demons is next. So the next episode is Demons. And friends, we are only 2 episodes away from revealing who killed Laura Palmer. It's here.
Oh, my goodness.
We're doing Demons. And then we're doing Lost Souls, and people that have watched the show know that Lost Souls is one of the best episodes ever made.
Better than this one?
Maybe the best. Of course,
Eric,
better than this one. David Lynch is going to return.
We only have 2 episodes left before we find out who killed Laura. So I just want to reiterate your plea. If you're interested, you got this far, listening to us ramble, please let us know if you've not seen this before, if you've never heard it and had it spoiled for you. Tell us what you think. Even if you had, tell us about the first time you watched it and who you thought it was. Were you like Phil Donahue and you just really thought it must be Leo Johnson that did it? Even though Cooper says clearly it wasn't. Let us know.
Yeah, that's it. All right, we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Meanwhile podcast with Dan Johnson and Eric Grissom. If you would like to support the Meanwhile podcast, join our Patreon. It's available right now. You can sign up, and for just a few dollars a month, you can keep this show going, and you can get access to some exclusive podcasts and some secret stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else. So if you'd like to join, go to ericgrissom.com/meanwhile and look for the Patreon link. If you like our show, please consider rating and reviewing the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're hearing this now. Meanwhile is produced by Eric Grissom and Where's My Robots? The Meanwhile theme song is written and performed by Paul Finn and Evening Pines. If you want to let us know what you thought of the show, you can reach Dan at danjnj.com, both on the web and on Blue Sky. Eric can be found on Blue Sky at ericgrissom.com, which is also his website. It's also me, right? That's weird. We'll see you again. And in the meantime, be good.
Listen to the sounds.
Meanwhile.